We done teamed up, USA and Australia. They came all the way to the US, I seen them. They said they needed a shot at the big stage. Devin provided it. We hooked up, we said, listen, the Haneys and the Maloneys, USA to Australia.
Well, it took a lot of practice, you know.
How you guys doing? This is my third press conference of the day. We were here early. Why is my camera so low? Is it me? We were here this morning at 8:30 this morning a.m. for the Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgartner press conference. We, about 4 hours or so ago, we were here for the Caleb Plant, Anthony Dirrell, Deontay Wilder, Robert Helenius press conference. And now the final press conference of the day. Well, we still may have one more at 11 o'clock. Liam Parrow and Brock Jarvis. But for me, it's going to be the last one of the day. Looking like Big J is there, by the way, in Melbourne. You can't say Melbourne. It's Melbourne. Australia at the Rod Laver Arena, where this fight's going to be taking place. Haney Kambosos 2. A rematch that I don't think anybody asked for. You know, anybody out there, you know, excited about this fight? Anybody going to be watching it, or is this one of those fights where people are going to be watching again on Sunday or the day after? You know, but Lou DiBella did tell Big J is that he's got to throw caution to the window. He can't go out there trying to box Devin Haney. Like, that ain't gonna work. This is gonna get him in trouble. You know, he's got to go out there and try to put a boot in Devin Haney's ass. He can't go out. He can't try to box him. He gonna just get beat up again. But if I'm being honest, like, I'm not. You know, I like the card though. Susie Q Ramadan versus Shanika Johnson. Let me pull it up real quick. I always get those damn Maloneys confused. Which one, Jason? Which one is fighting Nawafon Kaikanha, the WBC eliminator, to be the mandatory for Inoue versus Paul Butler winner? Which one is that? The 118-pound Maloney. Is that Andrew? I'm supposed to know this, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. But yeah, man. What's going on? The fight's going to be here in the States on primetime ESPN again. You know? So hopefully both of the fighters, you know, because the first fight, it was a stinker, wasn't it? You know, so they got to do something there. And, you know, they're getting primetime ESPN treatment again. You know, they got to do something, you know? And that's Devin Haney, too. You know, he needs to try to stop George Kambosos this time. You know, I'm just hoping some fireworks, you know? That's all I'm hoping. Here is the card. But really nice, solid card. The main event, of course, is going to be for Undisputed, Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. Is Devin Haney really boycotting the Ring magazine? The press conference is starting. Press conference is starting. Well, while they're getting ready, it's going to be the main card is going to be Shanika Johnson versus Susie Q Ramadan, Andrew Maloney versus Norberto Jimenez. I covered him when he fought Danny Nietes in a controversial fight. Jason Maloney versus Nawafon Kaikanha, and that's to be WBC mandatory for Inoue Butler's supposed to be taking place in December. So overall, I like these 4 fights. Nice, solid 4 fights. You know, in my opinion, this undercard is better than the first fight's undercard, in my opinion. Especially since I'm an Australian boxing connoisseur. But yeah, man, just not feeling it. But you know what fight I'm really not feeling? I'm really not feeling Wilder Helenius. That's a disgrace. Wilder Helenius. That's a fucking disgrace. Let me fix my camera here. My bad. Give me 1 minute. I mean, we've seen worse on pay-per-view throughout the history of time, right? You know, fucking Bernard Hopkins versus Roy Jones 2. That was on like a closed circuit type pay-per-view deal. So we've seen worse. We've seen worse. But I just don't like it, you know, and especially since it's not leading. It was supposed to lead to Andy Ruiz, but we know, or at least I know, that the fight's on pay-per-view because PBC can't cover Deontay Wilder's purse, so they're like, the fans got to pay for it. Like, it's some bullshit, you know, some bullshit. But either way, who am I to complain? I'm going to be here streaming on Saturday night during the main event. I'm not expecting for the main events to overlap. I will be streaming for the main event of Wilder versus Helenius, but depending on what's going to happen with Haney versus Kambosos, I may just cover Haney Kambosos on Sunday, like real early in the morning. Depends. So I wish I could stream during them both and cover them both individually without channel surfing or flipping. But yeah, anyway, waiting for this press conference to start here for George Kambosos. I mean, Devin Haney and George Kambosos. 2. Kambosos has been very quiet, which, you know, you can't be, you know, mad at. It's like, all right, taking shit seriously, you know, because he was talking a whole bunch of shit. But now, instead of the deception, art of war, he's basically, you know, what did he say? The Emperor's dead. The ferocious one is back. Because, you know, George Ferocious Kambosos. He did beat Teofimo, though. Teofimo, by the way, is supposed to be back on December the 10th against Jose Pedraza. For those who care about that. For those who care about that. So as we're sitting here waiting for this press conference to start, let's go hear what Devin Haney had to say.
Back up any of it. So he talked a lot the first fight, didn't back up any of it. So this fight, he really has no choice but to be quiet because nobody really believes what he says now. He kind of has some people fooled the first fight. This fight, you know, no one is buying into it. So it's better for him to stay quiet. I knew that George wasn't on my level. I knew that if I stuck to the game plan and was on point, there was nothing that he could do, you know, with me. And I just feel like I know that I'm the better fighter overall. So I don't think that if we fought 10 times, I don't think any of them would be close because my skill set that I bring to the table.
I mean, yeah, dude is good.
A fair bit as well. Are you looking to get the chance, perhaps beyond this fight with George, at some stage, getting in the ring with Davis and just killing that once and for all?
How could you even think to bring up Gervonta Davis when George Kambosos is sitting right there, right in front of me? It's no way that I could, you know, be looking past him. He's right there in front of me. That's the man I got to go through, and then we'll once I go through him, then we'll talk about what's next. But my main focus is him.
What might be next is Vasily Lomachenko. Bob Arum, the promoter, has been talking about that. I mean, that's a big. You can't blow that off.
His own.
That's out there on the horizon, and that would be a.
That's his own countryman, like just writing off George. He just ain't even acknowledging George.
Vasily Lomachenko. Bob Arum, the promoter, has been talking about that. I mean, that's a big. You can't blow that off. That's out there on the horizon, and that would be a momentous occasion.
My bad.
Ukraine and Lomachenko standing. And
George Kambosos.
Damn, that's kind of disrespectful, though. You know, I kind of get where Devin's coming from. It's like you asked me about Tank, and George Kambosos was literally right here. Like, he's right here, bro.
You know, I take, you know, basketball for, you know, Michael Jordan. He's playing in the finals. You know, it's a series. You know, you win the first game. You know, you lose the second game, lose the third game, come back, fourth, fifth, wrap up the series. Who remembers, you know, who won at the end? And this is what it is. Yes, I was 36 minutes, got to the top, beat Lopez. 36 minutes later in the ring, I lost it all. Now 36 minutes or less, I got it all back. I'm back at the top.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some intrigue in the fight because what if Kambosos loses again? It's not like he's like a really like big household name. And, you know, he was kind of hinting at, you know, a possible retirement. He didn't say it, but he was kind of hinting at it. And then he makes somewhere around like $10 million or so for the first fight. Like, that's pretty wild. You know, it was about 40 or so thousand in the arena. You know, he was, you know, even though it was a little bit of a check mark next to his name, you know, he was, you know, undisputed, you know, status or champion, however you want to call it, whatever it was. You know, oh, looks like they're about to start. I think they're about to finally start the press conference. Let's see if they started on the main event page. Not yet. But it looks like they're going to be starting soon. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm hyped, you know. This for boxing. And also, I want to see, you know, what can Devin Haney do differently? He got to start sitting on his punches, man. You know, that's what I'm really interested in. Where's my chat? My chat's going again. But anyway, so once again, you know, solid weekend in boxing. The only fight that really sticks out, the only card is Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgartner, and Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. To me, that's the card of the weekend. If I was to rate the cards, I'm going to rate that card number 1. What's number 2 though? You know, is it Haney Kambosos or is it Wilder Helenius? I think Wilder Helenius card is better. No, yeah, I think Wilder Helenius is my number 2. If I was to rate the cards of this weekend, the big ones or the significant ones, it would be it would be Shields versus Marshall, Wilder Helenius, Haney Kambosos 2. And then Perro versus Jarvis. Boom. Yeah, old mate Big J is there. He is there. This is their live screen. They haven't gone live yet. So they're live, but they haven't started. Oh, wait. There you go. We're starting. I'm guessing we just went black. I'm guessing they're going to be starting soon. I am exhausted, though. Oh, yeah, they are.
Rod Laver Arena has been the home of champions in Melbourne for more than 3 decades, and this Sunday the Grand Slam of the lightweight division goes on the line once again when Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. come together for the second time in this great sporting city. Hi everybody, my name is Warren Smith. Welcome to the official press conference this morning here at Rod Laver Arena with some of the stars we'll see in action on what is a fabulous fight card this Sunday right here at this terrific venue. As we begin today, we'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional landowners and pay our respects to their elders past, present and also emerging. We'll be joined this morning by the 2 men who will fight for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world in Devin the Dream Haney and George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. What a fight they put on at Marvel Stadium first time around just on 4 months ago. And the men responsible for putting on this fight card on Sunday, both Carl Moretti, the Vice President of Boxing Operations for Top Rank, and Lou DiBella of DiBella Entertainment will join us to give us their thoughts as well on what we can expect right here with our coverage beginning at 9 a.m. on Sunday, Australian time. Of course, let's talk to some of the fighters we'll see on the undercard now. There's some stars amongst them as well, both from Australia and also around the world. And Susie Ramadan is a former 2-time world champion, has a chance to make it a 3rd world title when she takes on the defending...
Okay, we're doing the undercard first.
...featherweight champion in Janika Johnson in the first of 2 world title bouts we'll see here at Rod Laver Arena on Sunday. Susie, thanks for your time this morning. This must be a dream come true for you to fight for a world title. title back in your hometown.
Yeah, 100. Is this working?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Look, you know, I fought in Melbourne for a very long time, and obviously I've had a couple of fights overseas, but I won the WBC, the IBF here in Melbourne, so yeah, everything comes in threes, I guess, so third time lucky this time, eh? And I'm yeah, really looking forward to it.
You have sparred against Shanika a couple of times.
Susie has been on the channel multiple times. Shout out to Susie.
Quite a lot, you know, so over the years. So we know each other pretty well.
Who came out on top in those sparring sessions?
Look, you know, obviously I've got more experience, and yeah, look, and yeah, I've sparred her with 2 different trainers she had. So previously she with the first trainer and the second trainer as well. So there's been a lot of sparring. I mean, obviously, look, you know, I've had times in my career where I've haven't had a fight for about a year or 2 years, whatever, and I've always been to the gym. Everyone knows I'm always training and always there to help out the girls. So I did a lot more for Shanika in terms of helping her with sparring, because keep her active. She was obviously active and fighting. So yeah, no, so it was good. And
it's fantastic to have 2 such impressive fighters, female fighters in action, fighting for a world title as part of this massive card on Sunday. So good luck.
yeah, 100%. I mean, I can't thank Devin Haney and George Kambosos for bringing the fight here, and Top Rank and Louis DeBella and DeBella Promotions and everyone involved, you know, for having these shows in Melbourne. It's definitely given us these opportunities, which I'm truly grateful for.
Looking forward to seeing you in action, Susie. Of course, the world champ you're taking on, Shanika Johnson, Sugar Neeks, as you are known. Shanika, what's your memory of those sparring sessions from the past against Susie?
Look, I was probably about 3-4 years ago, so I've definitely developed as a fighter since then. As Susie said, she's got a lot of experience, and that's credit to her. She's been in the game for a long time. She's paved the way for women's boxing here in Australia, but I'm just excited to take on this match.
What improvements have you made from that time you sparred against Susie?
You know, there's lots of improvements to be made in boxing, and over the 3 years, that's all going to show come Sunday night.
Of course, it's been a difficult time for you, this preparation. Tragically, you lost your brother in incredible circumstances. How has the preparation been for you, given that your family is still going through this grieving process?
I think for me, I really just zoned in and used, I guess, tunnel vision to just zone in on this fight. And it was hard. It was a hard time during that week with my family, but I always knew that this is what my brother would have wanted, and he wanted to be here on Sunday for this fight, and this would have been the first fight that he was able to come to. So this one's a dedication to him.
Well, you have, yes, absolutely. You have motivation in many ways for Sunday, so all the best.
That is true. I've never seen a white woman named Shanika.
That's the first of 2
like
world
ever.
title fights we'll see right here at Rod Laver Arena as part of our coverage on Sunday.
Or any type of Nika.
We'll see undefeated heavyweight Hemi Ahio, who was part of the build-up for the first Kambosos Haney fight back here in June. And, well, we didn't see Hemi, you didn't get to show the power that you possess quite obviously. You had that fight against Christian Zoy. He retired at the end of the first round with an arm injury.
I thought that was the Rat King, Rung Visai.
This Sunday.
Yeah, good morning, Warren. There's not too much about the power with the last fight. There was more like the skill sets that I didn't get to showcase or play with in the ring against him. Yeah, but it's cool. But this time,
Oh, he's definitely been in some brawls.
yeah, he's not here today for me to see him, and so we can talk to each other. But yeah, just come Sunday, it's gonna be good.
You're taking on Django Opalou, who Australian fight fans will know very well. A powerful fighter himself. How long does this one last? It may not go all that long, potentially.
Not the heavyweight fight. I don't think it'll go like that long. I don't think it'll last the rounds. I'm gonna make sure of that. Yeah, I just can't wait to weigh in tomorrow just to see him, see how's the energy looking, how he's feeling, and I hope he brings it on Sunday, bro.
Something special planned for a face-off tomorrow with him?
Not tomorrow. Sunday. I just want to see him tomorrow.
Okay.
Just for.
We'll see how it plays out. Looking for a record, of course, 20-0 at the moment, or potentially when you take on Django Opalou. So all the best. Can't wait to see you in action on Sunday.
Sweet. Thank you, Warren.
Brings the firepower, does Hemi Ahio. Also on a stacked card is 2-time former Commonwealth gold medalist in David Naika, who meets fellow Kiwi Titi Motasunga over 6 rounds at cruiserweight. David, thanks for joining us here also this morning. Great to have your company. 4 fights into your professional career. How's the transition been from a glittering amateur career now that you've had a little taste, of course, 4 fights in the pro ranks? How have you made the transition?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, I'm excited for a tough fight on the weekend, and ideally land that 1-2 look at my shoe.
We'll see if it turns out that way. You're trained now, of course, by Noel Thornberry, but you've spent some time in the UK early in your professional career. And one of your sparring partners, one of your regular sparring partners, a fellow called Tyson Fury. What's it like going in there sparring against the Gypsy King?
He's been a massive influence for me. You know, I feel like I've learned so much about the fight game. Very excited about putting all that to work. And you know, hopefully, I've got a tough opponent in front of me, but I'm going to use my juggernautness to my advantage,
Is that the Boba Fett effect, the juggernautness, as you entered the ring, of course, at Marvel Stadium last time, dressed as a Star Wars character? What can we expect on Sunday?
I've got something really fun this week.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Sticking with the Disney theme. If you follow my socials, you'll have a good idea of what's to come.
Are you pitching up for a future career acting for Disney? I mean, Lou DiBella in the past has said you've got the movie star looks to go with the skills in the ring.
Oh, listen, if Disney came to the table, I wouldn't be mad about it, That's got to be a dream sponsor, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I thought it wouldn't be a bad thing. They've got all the money in the world. So I can't wait to see you in action, of course. We'll see it on TV and Z in New Zealand, also Fox Sports right here in Australia. Great to have you here once again.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
David Haney, one of the real rising talents for and in his professional career. Now, if it wasn't for the fact that the Undisputed Lightweight Championship of the World was on the line last time we met at Marvel Stadium in June, I think the Maloney brothers, Andrew and Jason, might have stolen the show. They were so impressive in what they showed in moving closer to a world title fight once again themselves with their impressive displays back in June. And Andrew will meet the Dominican Republic's Nobelto Jimenez, who was also with us here this morning. And, well, Nobelto, we might start with you. You fought twice for world titles, and of course we have Alberto Leon from the WBC interpreting for us. You fought twice for world titles. What have you seen of Andrew, and what do you think you may be able to exploit on Sunday?
Muy buenos días. Bendiciones a todos. Gracias a Dios por la oportunidad y a Top Rank.
Good morning, blessings to all of you, and I thank God for the opportunity that the promoters, Develop Promotions and Top Rank have given me.
Bueno, he tenido 2 oportunidades por el título mundial. Pienso en mi tercera oportunidad. He visto peleas de Maloney, lo conozco perfectamente.
I have had 2 chances for world title, and I am looking forward to my third. I have seen my opponent, Andrew Maloney, several times, and I believe that I have his style figured out to win on Sunday.
It is a massive fight, quite obviously. In the last 11 years, you've fought 35 times and lost just the once. I think that tells us all we need to know about what you bring to the table here.
Yo creo que eso es un buen récord que tú traes para esta pelea.
Bueno, sí, tengo un récord, gracias a Dios, muy bueno, y a mi manejadora Bélgica Peña, presidenta de la empresa Chuan Boxing, y seguimos por más.
Yeah, I'm very proud of my record, of my great record, and I have a lot of people to thank, including the president of my promotion company, who is with me all the way. And I believe that I can take advantage of my experience in order to win this fight on Sunday.
Looking forward to seeing you in action. It will be a terrific fight, of course, given what Andrew brings to the table as well. That's Nobelto Jimenez. We'll see him in action against Andrew Maloney on Sunday. Nobelto is ranked in the top 10, higher than it turns out, than by WBC and WBO than Andrew Maloney. And Andrew, a chance to really flip the script, I guess, and set the record straight as far as those rankings are concerned when you do take on Nobelto this Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a perfect fight for me at the moment. I've had a very busy 14-month period of this is my 5th fight in the last 14 months. And I've worked my way up the rankings. And Norberto is rated number 2 in the world. And I feel like this is a perfect fight for me. I'm going to take his ranking. I'm going to put on the best performance of my career this Sunday and earn myself the opportunity to fight for a world title next. So expect the best performance of my career.
And I guess the best way to do that is to do what you did in the ring against Alexander Espinosa when we fought here on June 5 at Marvel Stadium. That was so impressive as an early stoppage, very much in the front of your mind again.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned before, me and Jason did steal the show last time out, and we plan to do the same thing again. So if your stoppage comes, it comes. I'll certainly be looking for it.
What did it mean to fight in front of so many fans here in your hometown? I know you're from up the road at Lilydale and in the Yarra Valley, but this is very much your hometown, and that was a great occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. This has just been a phenomenal year for us. Back-to-back fights in Melbourne at these huge events, these huge stadiums, and me and Jason know what we need to do. We need to get our hands on these world titles and start to headline these events in Melbourne ourselves for the years to come.
We might ask Carl Moretti from Top Rank about that, potentially when we talk to Carl, of course, and Ludabella in a few moments' time. I can't wait to see you in action again. It was great, the show you put on last time around, and looking forward to seeing what you provide in the ring this time around.
Yep, expect even better this time. Fireworks.
Getting better, Team Maloney, of course. Now, the next fight isn't for a world title, but it will decide who gets to take on potentially current WBC champion. That is Naoya Inoue from Japan, who is pound for pound one of the greatest fighters in the world. But he may well step up and vacate his title, so there's a lot on the line for both Jason Maloney and, of course, Naofon Rungvisai in this world title eliminator. It's number 1 versus number 2 in the WBC, and Naofon joins us here this morning. You've had 57 professional fights, but this will be the first time you've fought outside of Thailand. This will be a hostile environment, something you're not used to going into a big fight.
ก็เป็นไฟล์แรกครับที่ได้ออกมาต่อยต่างประเทศก็รู้สึกตื่นเต้นมากครับเป็นเกียรติมากครับที่ได้มาต่อยเป็นประเทศที่น่าอยู่จริงๆครับอยากมาต่อยนานแล้วครับผม
So it is exactly my first time fighting professionally outside of Thailand. I'm very excited. At the same time, I also feel honored that I'm got a chance to fight in Australia. These beautiful countries. It's really, really a very hospitable countries, and yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Glad to see that Naofon is comfortable here at the moment. 46 knockouts in 56 wins. That's an incredible percentage. Do you plan to bring that power to the ring this time around?
ก็ที่ชนะน็อกมาทั้งหมดก็ไม่ได้มาเพราะโชคช่วยนะครับก็เป็นการฝึกซ้อมของผมอย่างดีและไฟล์นี้ก็เช่นกันครับผม
So all those 46 knockout, it wasn't for the luck that I made it. I work hard for it, I train hard for it, and it's the same for this fight. I have been training really, really hard for this one.
Well, there's a lot on the line, as we said, in this world title eliminator. So good luck on Sunday against a very impressive man in Jason Maloney. Naofon Rungvisai, we'll see him as part of our 9-fight card here at Rod Laver Arena. And now, Jason, that's impressive. 46 knockouts from 56 fights. You know you're in the deep end of the pool with so much on the line here this weekend.
Yeah, very impressive record, and you don't become world number 2 without being a very good fighter. So I've prepared for a very tough fight. He's obviously, as you said, had his whole career in Thailand, been very successful over there, but I feel like he's been a big fish in a small pond, and I plan to welcome him to the world stage and show him the next level of this sport.
Given what is on the line in this fight, you must be busting at the seams to once again fight here in Melbourne and earn that shot at a world title.
That's right. This is my dream, to fight for a world title and become world champion, and this is the final hurdle. So I've been working extremely hard. I'm very motivated to go out there and win this fight, and I'll do whatever it takes. You saw a great performance last time, and this one will be even better.
Speaking of that last performance, of course, you took on Aston at Marvel Stadium. I don't know that he still knows what hit him, because you hit him with so many hard shots, given it's a lighter division, but you punch above your division. There's no question about that. Can we see something similar again on Sunday?
Yeah, definitely, even better. Straight after that fight, we're never satisfied. I was straight home, straight back into the gym, working extremely hard, and I've improved heaps even since that last performance. So you can expect a great fight this weekend.
It is a real treat to have you and, of course, Andrew on the card here on Sunday. Good luck when you take on Noah Fon this week at Rod Laver Arena.
Thanks, mate. Can't wait.
Jason Maloney right there. They are some of the stars you'll see on our undercard, of course. They are just a portion of the fighters we'll see in action on Sunday, but it's now time to remind you why we are here in Melbourne for the second time.
Here we go again. Sunday, live from Melbourne's Rod Laver Arena, the rematch.
I'm already tired already. Jeez. I mean, no disrespect to the fighters, man, but I start my days at 5:30 in the morning sometimes. You know, but how you guys doing? We're going to be here covering this card on Saturday, and Wilder Helenius, and Shields versus Marshall. I do want to see the girls, the lovers fight. I want to see their fight. They're fighting. They're not fighting each other, but you know, I don't know if this is fake news or not. But basically, I think this is the first time this weekend that we have lesbian lovers, known out lesbian lovers, fighting on the same card. On Shields versus Marshall. No, not Shields or Marshall. No, not Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgartner. Like, it's these two females, and I found out earlier. I was wondering why when the fight was supposed to happen last month before the Queen died, they was giving them girls that extra attention. And I thought they were sisters, but then I was like, their last names are different. Maybe they're just like friends, but then we found out earlier they were lovers. You know, so they're fighting. Also, Caroline Dubois on the card, too. I'm also going to be covering Liam Parrow versus Brock Jarvis. Yeah. So we're waiting for the main event press conference to start, and I'm guessing they're coming out now. I want to see what George Kambosos' energy is.
Of their lives stepping into the ring for a world title fight. And the men responsible for putting on this fabulous show we'll see here at Rod Laver Arena on Sunday. Join us now on stage. I'd like to welcome Carl Moretti, the Vice President of Boxing Operations for Top Rank, and Lou DeBella from DeBella Entertainment, who is also now a member of the Boxing Hall of Fame. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us this morning to get your thoughts on what we'll see. This is no small undertaking, Carl, putting an event of this nature together, but I think we're in for something special on Sunday.
No question. You know, George has got a lot to prove. Things didn't go right the first time he fought. He's in his hometown. Devin is, you know, one of the best fighters in the world. I can't wait for the bell to ring and see what happens.
The officials have been more of a talking point going into this fight than we normally have for a world title fight. The referee has been a very big talking point again. We spoke to both George and Devin the other day, and they went back and forth about the referee. Devin's happy no matter who's the third man in the ring. What are your thoughts on all this talk about the officials that we'll see on Sunday?
When you're worried about judges and referees and the crowd and support, you better look for plan B real quick.
Thanks for the super chat, Drew.
Give me a fighter who says, where's the scale, where's my gloves, where's the ring the bell, and let's go. And that's what Devin Haney is. And I'll ride with that 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
That's no doubt a popular thought with the Haney camp, who join us here this morning at our official press conference. We just heard from the Maloney brothers, Team Maloney, and what a pair they are, the twin brothers. Andrew and Jason fighting potentially for world titles in 2023, should they get through this weekend. If that's the case, and they are very proud of their association with Top Rank, obviously, could we see them both fight for a world title on the same card on the same night, perhaps here in Melbourne?
Perhaps. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who's Andrew and who's Jason, you know. After that, you know, when we signed them, we talked about, you know, one day maybe that can come to reality, but I think, you know, they really have their hands full with these two fights Saturday. So, yes, in the future, we'd love to do a double world title fight, but I'm not even thinking about that right now. They need to win these fights Sunday because they've got two guys that have traveled from different parts of the world and could care less that they're in Melbourne, Australia, so they don't feel any pressure. And those are the hardest guys to fight. And that's why those two fights are probably going to be the most interesting on the site.
Well, they certainly will be, as they were, of course, first time around on June 5 at Marvel Stadium with the Maloney brothers in action. Lou, thanks for your company once again, as always. You've spent plenty of time here in Melbourne in recent times, so much so that it's almost mandatory that you choose an AFL team to support, or are the New York Mets more of a burden for any one man?
Unfortunately, I'm a fan of the Melbourne Demons. But you know what? I like the trades they made. I think they're going to have a better year next year. So I'm a Melbourne Demons fan.
There you go. He's only been down here, a short space of time, but in a compressed time frame, and he's got the Melbourne Demons already. They were the last year champion, of course, in 2021. So there's form on the board.
They were a lot like the Mets this year.
Yes.
They were a lot like the Mets this year.
Your New York Mets, my New York Mets as well. That was tragic. Now, you've been around boxing for a long, long time. Given what we saw on June 5 between Devin Haney and George Kambosos, why do you think it will be different on Sunday here?
Well, look, everything's changed. The pound-for-pound guy now is Devin Haney. The undisputed champion is Devin Haney, and the guy on top of the mountain is Devin Haney. George is back to where he's most comfortable, frankly, being an underdog and, having to prove himself. It wasn't a good night the last time. But insanity is trying to do the same thing and think you're going to get a different result. And the one thing I can tell you about Team Kambosos is they're not insane. So it's going to be a very different fight. It's going to be a better fight. Frankly, it's a better undercard. We got the Maloney brothers, two great ambassadors for the sports, but they got two real guys in front of them. I want to thank, by the way, quickly, the Victorian government, the Melbourne government. They have supported these events, and they have really put Melbourne on the map as a capital city of boxing worldwide. And that's what Melbourne now is. So thank you, Victorian government. Thank you, Melbourne, the city of Melbourne, for being such, great hosts. We're also, this is a better card, better fights, in a smaller room, a more intimate atmosphere. And I know George Kambosos will put on a better effort. Now, that better effort may also open the fight up for Devin Haney, too. And I think you're going to see fireworks a little bit more on both sides, a much more passionate fight. I will be shocked if it's not a way better fight. And I know it's a way better card. So, weather the water and, come out to the iconic Rod Laver Tennis Stadium and watch some great boxing with us on Sunday.
Yes, tickets are still available. You can grab those, of course, at your usual outlets.
And one last thing.
Yes.
The Victorian government and Melbourne, they really, really wanted to emphasize that they wanted to see a quality female fight on this card. It was very important to them, if they were going to support boxing, for it to be known that they were supporting women's boxing. And this is as significant a female fight as you really can make in Melbourne. Susie Rahman is in her early 40s. She has paid her dues for a long, long time. It says a lot about Trinica Johnson that she's giving Susie, who is a serious threat, this kind of opportunity. And it's a world title fight between a young, emerging, strong, world champion that has the whole package against a legend in Australian female boxing who's paid her dues for 20-something years. So I'm happy that Susie's getting that opportunity, and I'm proud of Trinica as a young champion to give Susie that chance.
Yeah, there are some great female world title fights coming up in the very near future, including what we'll see here on Sunday. Lou, thanks for your company. It might be time to introduce the two men who will once again fight for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. Would you welcome Australia's own George Ferocious Kambosos Jr.
Set me free or give me death, yeah. Living good, I've been blessed, yeah. Shout out on my enemy, all the best. You can set me free or give me death, man, I'm on my way, yeah. You can find out, you on time out. You been dealing with the devil, where you sign at? Yeah. Oh Lord, you getting financed. Me, I'm talking ownership, baby, that's where my mind at. Trying that, yeah. Me, I threw my money down. And you know that it's good, we can stick the run around. And I don't need no yes.
Also joining George on stage, his father, advisor, manager, many hats, Jim Kambosos. We'll talk to Jim as well. George, thanks for your company. Let's introduce the man, of course, though, who unified all the belts at just 23 years of age, just on 4 months ago. He is the dream. From Las Vegas, the undefeated Devin Haney.
selling. I ain't into that. We're doing business.
Like the Kambosos clan, Devin is joined by his father and trainer Bill Haney joining us on stage for the press conference this morning. George, if I could start with you as the challenger at the press conference to announce this rematch back in August here in this precinct, you said that if you don't win back all the belts on Sunday, it could be the last fight of your career. Are you still standing by that very large statement?
Well, I'm physically and mentally focused on this moment right now, so nothing else matters. Whatever was said, whatever was done, I'm zoned in on this moment. So nothing will break my focus, nothing will break that tunnel vision I have. So I'm not interested about any of that now. I'm interested on Sunday, what I do then.
Your team has been based at an undisclosed location here in Melbourne for the lead up to this fight. You have a much smaller crew around you, a change in management, change in training. Also, it feels like a covert military operation. Is that how it is inside the camp?
Yeah, pretty much. We're just a small team, you know, small operation, but fully zoned in, fully embedded on victory. So that's all that's mattered. You know, we've been left alone in this camp. We've been no distractions, just focused on one thing, and that's the way I've always done in my career, except for the last fight. So, you know, I'm looking forward to doing all my talking on Sunday. A great fight, and you know, we're going to bring it for the fans and especially for myself.
You've made sacrifices in the lead up to this fight, including time away from your family. Are you quietly confident that the sacrifices are worth it at this point in time?
Yeah, look, boxing is all about sacrifices, and you need to make them extra sacrifices. It gives me that edge. You know, I don't even have my kids here this whole fight week, and for the fight they will be at home. You know, I sent them away to Portugal. They had a great time, but I continued putting in my work. And when they did get back, I was in my gym, living there. So, you know, the sacrifices, the dedication, the discipline, you know, it's all about, you know, what gives them that mental edge to continue, you know, getting back on top.
Lou, in the lead up to this fight, said you are in tremendous physical condition. I guess that guarantees there's a drama-free weigh-in right here tomorrow, as opposed to what happened last time.
Yeah, I'm on weight right now, no problems. You know, I'm very hydrated, you know, eating very well, and you know, I really cut not one corner. You know, and they'll see tomorrow when I weigh in how well, you know, conditioned, you know, physically I am, and most important, mentally as well. You know, no distractions, just ready for a great fight and a great victory. Back to the old ferocious Kambosos.
It certainly has been a different lead-up. I'd like to ask you, Jim, on your perspective on the build-up to this fight. Big changes from what we saw last time around. Bill Haney, the other day, we had a little face-off across the way here at Rod Laver Arena, said your camp was quiet as church mice. Are you happy to be quiet as church mice?
Yeah, I mean, we're happy to be quiet as church mice. And look, the Haneys can sit there and, you know, and call it the way they want to call it. The simple thing is we've got a rematch opportunity, and we're serious about how we're going to execute on Sunday and how we're going to have the victory. And then once we've got victory, let's see who's going to be the quiet church mice after that. You know, we've made changes, we learnt lessons, we got caught up in the hype and the bright lights of the first fight. So, you know, the changes have been made, and come Sunday, let's see who church mice and who they are.
Some of those changes, the way you'll approach the fight, because there was critique in the early rounds when George was getting behind and losing some of those rounds. You were hoping to bank early his way, that there wasn't enough urgency in your corner. Will there be a different situation if things don't go to plan early in the first few rounds on Sunday? You'll be more vocal, or the camp will be more vocal in the corner?
Definitely. I mean, that's one of the changes. You know, we didn't have urgency in the corner. The trainer didn't execute the right instructions to George. We're not going to fully blame the trainer, but that was part of the adjustments we made. This time round, we've got an all-Australian team. We've hooked up with our old trainer that George was 14-0 in Australia. And the thing is, George has got that fire back in the belly, old school methods, and come Sunday, it's going to be a totally different corner with a lot more urgency and a totally different George Kambosos.
It has been fascinating to see the build-up as it has been for your side of the equation. Good luck on Sunday. We'll talk more, of course, with George in a moment. We open the floor to questions from the assembled media here this morning. But I'd like to turn our attention to
see what's going on with Big J.
Title holder Devin, welcome back Back to Melbourne, quite obviously. You've been here for almost 3 weeks now. How's the camp gone?
First off, I'm going to thank Allah for allowing me and my team to be here. I'm blessed to be here. I'm happy to be here, and it's great to be back here in Melbourne. I made history here, and it won't be no different on the 16th.
We were so impressed by your defence, of course, first time around, and what you did shutting down George over those 12 rounds at Marvel Stadium. And no matter the sport, we often focus, quite obviously in the media and as fans, on offence. But are you potentially the best defensive boxer in the world at the moment?
I mean, the name of the game is to hit and not get hit, and I'm a student of the game, so that's what I follow. So yeah, I might be one of the best defensive fighters in boxing, but on the 16th I look to show more offense.
Do you think that the fact that ESPN hasn't rated you in the top 10 of their pound-for-pound listings, they've overlooked just how good you are defensively? Because it's quite the omission to have the undisputed lightweight champion of the world not in that top 10 on their pound-for-pound rankings.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opinionated list at the end of the day. I'm a solid all-around fighter, the youngest undisputed in boxing, so I should definitely be on the list. But it is what it is. My main focus right now is facing George Kambosos, and after that, we can talk about the pound-for-pound list.
This is a very different build-up to what we had first time around. We spoke about that a couple of days also. They have been quiet. There's no doubt about that, the Kambosos camp. Are you concerned?
I mean, they've been quiet, but every time they open their mouth, it's a different excuse. So, they talk this quiet stuff, but they keep making up excuses. Now it's the coach, then it was the referee because I was holding. Every excuse in the book, but why did you fire your whole team if that was the case? If truly you feel like I was holding too much, why would you fire your whole team?
Over the course of 2 fights
Dan,
now,
he fired his whole
quite a few
team?
face-offs with George Kambosos Jr. What will you be whispering to him today when we face it off at the end of this press conference?
I mean, ain't nothing to be whispering. All my words is loud. I speak it, for the world to hear. So ain't nothing to whisper. At the end of the day, we'll see on the 16th who's a better fighter, and I will show once again that I am.
Can't wait to see how it turns out, of course, on Sunday. Bill, if I could ask you, we saw a vision, of course, during the fight in the first encounter in the corner when Devin came back. A couple of times there, you were imploring him to make sure he kept boxing and don't fight and don't throw anything too heavy. Because, is there a fear that you get caught up in a situation the same way Teofimo Lopez did against George Kambosos?
Thank you for the question. First off, I want to give praise to Allah for giving us the strength to make it happen. Going into it, we knew that George possessed things that are on an elite level. I don't take anything away from George and Jim for what they've done. Our preparation was to outbox him, and we wanted to do that, and we wanted to do it convincingly based on, the unknown. We didn't know what we were going to get in Australia. To our surprise, we've met some wonderful people. The Australian government has been totally supportive. For all intent purposes, we figured that this is a second home of ours. Unlike the Kambososes over there who make excuses after excuses, and we all are tired of hearing them, right? We all are tired of hearing them. That is not the Australian way. That's not the U.S. way. We came here to be hosted by them to put on an event. They continue to quote different. Dev gave me one job today, right? We're on wait. He told me to go out and get this for George. It's the art of war. So if you can hand it to him over there.
Sure.
Because we want him to be well prepared and not misinformed.
Deception.
So well, that's fine, right? But what excuse is he going to have on the 16th?
Well, we will find out, of course. This has been a long time in the making. What we see, the belts on the table here, through homeschooling for Devin, there was a focus through his teenage years on his potential career down the track. To see these belts on the table now, it must be especially gratifying for you, the approach that you took with your son.
Absolutely, and not just to be a champion, but to be a world champion. These belts represent the world, and boxing brings us all together. This is a sport that I encourage Devin to do because it's an individual sport, but it also would bring us culturally together and as a world. And being a world champion is the way that you conduct yourself. The stuff that they're doing over there, my son is going to whip his ass.
I've got to get a response from George, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I think you quoted The Art of War last time around. Any thoughts on what we've just heard from Bill?
What did he say? I didn't hear him.
Okay. Earmuffs on, and the covert military operation continues on here today. I might open the floor now to questions from the media who have joined us here, and Peter Bedell.
Big J about to pull through for Fight View 360. What's going on, guys?
Peter, great to see
Oh, my bad.
Thanks, Warren. Hi, George. Peter Bedell from the Courier Mail. We obviously have spoken a few times. I know your mentality going into this fight, but can you just give me a response to what they've said? I mean, they think you're full of excuses, that you're making cheap excuses for your loss in the first fight. What do you say to that?
Well, look, there's no excuses. Whatever they're saying, that's no problem. Whatever they've done in their preparation, whatever they, is on their mind, that's okay. We're zoned in on one thing, like I said. Everything is perfect on our side, and I'm looking forward to a great fight. That's all I'm focused on. I'm not focused on anything else. If they want to talk, they want to say things, beautiful. They want to try to give me a present there, thank you, but I don't need that. I got my own.
What mistakes did you make specifically in the first fight, and how do you rectify those for this fight to get those belts back?
Well, look, the changes have been made. You learn from your losses. You come back a better fighter. So I've made my changes. I've looked at certain things, and I've gone back to my roots as well.
That ain't Big J.
We're just focused. I'm not going to give anything away. I'm just zoned in, and Sundays where I'll do my talking. Let's see who laughs last. That's what I'm, we'll say.
Hi, George. Darren Walton, AAP. Mate, there's no secret that Devin's left jab caused trouble last time. What have you got in store to combat that this time?
Yeah, he's got a fantastic jab, but we have put in fantastic work to.
He jabbed his ass off.
Not only his jab, but whatever he tries to bring. It doesn't matter. Did I let him jab too much? Yeah, he's got a great jab, but that's why boxing is the sweet science. And it's the unknown as well. That's why we love this sport so much. So they don't know what I'm about to bring. And again, I don't know what he's about to bring. He might bring this Arturo Gatti kind of style, supposedly. He talks about the pound-for-pound list he wants to get in, and they're going to throw a lot of offense. Might have Arturo Gatti right there. Rest in peace to him. So we'll see.
And Bob Aaron was encouraging you to turn it into a brawl. Can we expect something like that?
You'll know when you see Big J. He's very dominant.
He's doubted me. I love Bob. But he's doubted me many times. Actually, there's a great quote before I fought Teofimo Lopez. He said he had a better chance of knocking out Tyson Fury than what I did in beating Lopez. So I'm waiting to see that, Bob. But I hope you're doing well, mate, and be careful. I will shock the world again.
And just on shocking the world, the last corresponding press conference 4 months ago was a bit of a circus. Could barely get in there. There's less people around. Does that sort of, you don't need any added motivation, but does that sort of make you want to prove a point as well and show the people that you're not yesterday's hero?
Yeah, it's nice and relaxed. How my camp has been, how this whole week has been. Nice and relaxed, and I've got to obviously, appreciate the way Lou and DeBella Entertainment and Top Rank and Juco and TEG, Ferocious Promotions, Devin Haney Promotions. This is a beautiful run, promotion. Everything has been, fantastic, and that's what boxing is about. Giving, the world a great show, and I will do my talking, like I said, on Sunday.
Hi, I'm Melissa Woods from Australian Associated Press. Devin, there was some, I suppose, criticism of the fight last time that it was boring. As being the world champion, do you feel any kind of duty, I guess, to bring more to the fight, or for you is it just about the victory?
I mean, did you enjoy the fight?
Do I?
Did you enjoy the fight?
Bit one-sided, I suppose.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, what I'm gonna be mad that it was a one-sided fight? That's what I'm supposed to go in there and do my job. And if it's one-sided and it may be boring to you, then that's okay. But you know, that means that I executed the game plan correctly and I won the fight. So it is what it is.
So we talked about obviously I think it's like 15 knockouts and that, but for you it's just about getting the win. You don't need to sort of put on a show, I suppose.
I always want to put a show on.
And George, you've reunited with your former trainer, Chris Backus. Can you just talk us through what changes, I guess, he's made? And, you know, you talked about going back to the old school, old times or whatever. Yeah, what's sort of different about your preparation and plans?
Well, look, I've gone back to my roots. You know, me and Chris, you know, started many, many years ago. You know, so we've taken it old school, but we have brought in a lot of new school methods as well. So we feel very comfortable in our preparation, you know, in the dark, in the trenches, we put in the work. So, you know, there is, you know, just one focus for not only me and Chris, but the whole team. One focus, and that's victory. I got a question for George. That's all that matters.
Why did you fire Coach Javier?
That's none of your damn business.
What about Peter Kahn?
Once again, none of your damn business.
That's fucked up, George.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It's your old mate, Big J, Jason Fletcher from Fight View 360. First of all, guys, congratulations on the big fight. Great to see the Haney team back in Australia again. Hope you're having a great time. George, for you, and actually all of you, if you get up, you guys got to go to a trilogy?
Yeah, I believe so. This fight is, it'll be 1-1 after Sunday, and we'll sit down and see what he wants to do. He probably want to move up to 140 by then. You know, probably, you know, his time at 135 will be done. But we'll see, you know. My mind focused on one thing, like I said, it's Sunday. Mentally and physically zoned in on this moment only. No moment, no other moment, no, you know, third fight, none of that. No other fighters, you know, I'm zoning on this. For him, you know, there's a lot of guys hunting him now. A lot of people calling him out. You've got the Gervonta Davises, you've got the, you know, Ryan Garcia's, you've got the Lomachenko's, who's unbelievable champion, an Orthodox brother. So, you know, they all want his head. I'm just laying back.
Fair enough. Just for you, Devin, if you get up on the weekend, you're successful, what's your next step?
It's a lot of big fights out there to be made. Obviously, I've been calling for, you know, Loma for a while now. But my main focus is, you know, getting past George Kambosos, and then we can talk about what's next.
Good luck to both of you on Sunday, lads.
Thank you.
Thank you to the media for joining us here this morning. Of course,
yeah, I told you he stands out.
Just when you think you know what's going to happen,
that's an alpha male right there.
The script gets flipped, and you never know what you're going to see.
Shout out to Big J.
On Sunday, we'd like to thank the Victorian Government, Top Rank, DeBella Entertainment, TEG Sport, Duco Events, Tab, Foxtel, of course, and Main Event, where you can still book your viewing pleasure on Sunday for here at Rod Laver Arena. Fire Main Event in Australia, ESPN, and also TVNZ. Many ways you can watch the fight around the world. We might face off both fighters right now. One more time. Devin the Dream Haney, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, against George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. We'll be back here at 11 a.m. for the official weigh-in.
George don't seem confident at all, do he?
Don't want to miss it live on Fox Sports. This arena will be raucous. It's Haney versus Kambosos Jr. fighting for all the belts and their place in history.
George fired his whole team, though? Guess they was like, we paying all this money to lose, so they just cut their whole team out. Yeah. So I think it's pretty safe to say that if Lomachenko wins on the 29th against Jermaine Ortiz, that him and Devin Haney or the winner of this fight are going to fight. Now, I don't know what else, George Kambosos can do outside of being aggressive. I never really considered him to be a power puncher, even though he did drop Tio. But, I see... I just don't like the body language of George Kambosos. I don't know. There's some things going on. Where I'm wondering if he's just looking at this as a cash out, because the way he lost the first fight, just off of a jab, and I just knew, what was he thinking, trying to go out there to try to outbox Devin Haney? But what if he comes out there and tries to do it again? We're going to know definitely by round 3, how the fight's going to go. So Big J's there, likely talking to the fighters. I'm actually going to get up out of here so I can get up early for the Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall press conference, and to edit whatever content Big J is going to be sending over for me to edit. So thanks for chilling and watching. We're going to be back tomorrow, actually in about 9 hours or so, 11 hours or so, for the weigh-in for Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall. And then remember, we're going to be streaming during Wilder Helenius' main event, and likely during this main event as well. They're probably going to overlap or be not too far apart. And we're going to be streaming during Liam Parrow versus Brock Jarvis. They have a press conference coming up in 2 hours. I may try to watch from bed. But remember, we're going to be here covering the fight this weekend and the card. Shanika Johnson versus Susie Ramadan, Andrew Maloney versus Norberto Jimenez, Jason Maloney versus Namaphone Kakanha, Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. My colleague is Big J is at the fight this weekend, so we're going to be getting live from the arena coverage. And yes, the weigh-in for Haney Kambosos is tomorrow, and the weigh-in for Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall is tomorrow, and Wilder Helenius. So we did 3 streams today. We're going to do 3 streams again tomorrow. So let me get up out of here. I'm T Street Controversy with 5 View 360. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.